Hey, what's going on? It's Jason Pyro. You're here for another Tech Tuesday. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I got the Bluetooth on. Um, I want to talk to y'all about some tips and things like that if you run into some snares. So before I get into it, like this video, share it, subscribe, thumb it down. Don't matter, you watching it anyway. Or you watch it anyway. So that's what it is. And hit the bell, all that good stuff. Let's get to it. Okay, what I want to say is I know there is a lot of trial and error when you're doing tech, especially if you're trying to do what I've been doing on a Chromebook, depending on the model of your Chromebook, depending on, you know, all that good stuff, the EOL, inner life, things like that. Oh, all this stuff. Anyway, you're gonna run into issues, especially with space, because Chromebooks normally don't have a lot of space. Some only have up to 4 gigabytes of RAM. Most of the time, like a 16 gigabyte card. There are ways you can upgrade it though. I've seen a lot of people do Hackintoshes with Chromebooks. Chromebooks are wired to, you can code them, things like that. That's why when you put it in developer mode, you're able to put things like Crouton or any distribution. You can put Gallium OS, which is a Linux distribution strictly for Chrome, Chromebooks, Chromeboxes in general. I've been doing this since like 2017, and I ran into a lot of trial and error. I ran into trying to put Mac OS on my computer because I needed the same software that my friend had, my brother, Paradise Flow, when we were doing music. And then I woke up one day and that led me into tech, looking at a story I woke up to about Linux and having over 115 gigabytes on my Google Drive, and just getting all into the virtual world of running virtual machines and things like that, because times are hard. Sometimes you can't buy a new MacBook, or you can't buy the equipment. So what better way to run it on whatever you have? Also, doing research about back in 2007 with the IDNEB and the IATCOS, if I'm butchering these names. Oh, Jesus, forgive me, y'all. And stuff like that. So, it's pretty cool. Like, you run into VMware. I had issues with trying to install VirtualBox and running the machine because Chromebook has its own kind of kernel, you know, and it's just, even with Windows, like I've managed to run Windows, I managed to install Windows straight up on it. The thing about running Windows on there, it's large, it has a lot of updates, and once you install it, you're done with. The only way you can get that space is having a 32-bit. I have a 64-bit, which I can run like virtualization, and that's another thing, making sure that your machine can run virtualization. So with all of that being said, you're gonna run into trials and errors. Sometimes I just practice with Sasami. I had issues running Sasami, especially doing the APFS, because the new Apple file system setup, it just takes a long time. It took me at least 24 and a half hours to even get it going. I've tried it on Gallium OS, I've tried it on Ubuntu Studio, and it worked. Um, Even installing a system, whether I'm using Manjaro, which is dope. I've used Endeavor OS. Um, Ran into some issues with that, just depending on, because you have issues with booting into the system. You get stuck at the grub menu or the intro menu, where it's the crew. You get stuck at that. So it takes a whole lot. But I'm gonna tell you, it's so worth it. Like with my Chromebook, I have a patch to do the updates for 1604 Ubuntu Studio, because I need the low latency, and that's how I record. And I also am working on right now setting up Arch Linux to run just like Ubuntu Studio. I have mine set up like Ubuntu Studio because I love XFCE. I fell in love with it. It's my first love, especially with Crouton. It's less space, it's less resources, so much stuff. I have it on my 1 terabyte Seagate drive. That's where I run my virtual machines. That's where my Manjaro system is installed. On my main Chromebook, my main computer, I have Ubuntu Studio 16.04 with the patches for security updates. So if you have an account, you can set up your account and get the free patch. And if you want to keep paying for it, then keep doing that. The reason I'm doing it because there are issues with sound cards. Once I find out how to correctly fix the sound, I will do a video on that too. So I wanted to get on here and just give y'all some tips and tricks and some pointers not to give up. Don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. You're going to have issues running into these types of things, especially if you're doing music. Like, if you're looking for a good ring light, I have this ring light right here. It's only like $50. For $50, you can get this. Y'all know about my Snowball microphone. It cost me nothing, but I got this, my Chromebook, the filter and everything from Paradise Flow, and some friends, and you know, those mics normally cost you about $29, $30. The highest I've seen is like 40 and 50, but they're damn good mics if you're looking for USB mics, which are very powerful and they work just as effective. Getting you a good filter, getting you like a good setting up your room to be great, and the lighting, depending on if you're in an apartment like mine or a house like mine with the lighting, you want to make sure that you have good lighting and things like that too. You want to make sure too that if you're running a kernel and you don't have a lot of stuff running, you want to make sure that it has the capabilities of low latency. That way it can handle strong tasks. And I've tried the real-time kernels also. They're dope too, but really it just depends on what your fancy is. You know, whatever floats your boat, whatever distribution you're using, whether it be Fedora, whether it be the OG Debian, whatever. You know, Linux is dope. You can run all kinds of cool stuff. Android. You can run Mac OS with the Xcode running in the machine. You run Windows simultaneously. If you have a major PC or the drive to hook up into your computer and you're doing the Sasami thing, you can set it up to use like different stuff. And the way I've been doing my machines and playing with them, they run their native. Like, what I find out too is I like VMware the most, in my opinion, because I don't have to go through the issues of using the copy and paste. Like, I can copy and paste, I can share with ease, and I can leave it running all night. Where if I use something else, it's slow, it's laggy. Even with KVM and the speed and with the tools, it's laggy. It may be the Chromebook, it may be what I have it set on, but at the same time, you know, it's trial and error, even if things like that. So thank y'all for letting me share. Subscribe to the channel. I'll bring more Tech Tuesday soon.